Oh, yeah, that is sick. And then,
All right, we are live over here, Helsinki, Finland. Shooting the shizat. I'm Dylan Broda, and always with me is the rebel himself, Starbuck. How's it going there, big guy?
You can't have the E without the ha. You know that, Dylan?
Hmm.
I got the Southern rock band called Crossfire
Mhm.
with a Y, Crossfyre. That's one thing I always say on stage. You can't have the E without the ha, ladies and gentlemen.
There you go.
So, as it is today, we are shooting the shizat once again. Some of the old guard has sometimes pointed out to me, it's shiznit, all right? The slang wrestling carny term for shit, shiznit. I said, yeah, but we're Canadian, it's shizat.
There you go.
We're shooting the shizat. So today we're talking about what we kind of missed last week because we kind of skipped our Thursday episode, and now we're playing catch up. Extreme Rules, WWE.
That's right. We
Yeah.
got a little bit of a buzz. I'm just trying to work that out now, so just bear with us for a second.
Well, Dylan's working the buzz out, and I can't hear no buzz.
There we go.
Well, there we go.
Yes.
So we're back, live and living color. And Extreme Rules, which for the first time since I can remember, they reserved the Extreme Rules stip for only the last match on the card, which was Roman Reigns against Finn Balor as the Demon. And it was very anticlimactic as a Extreme Rules event. But that said, I was glad they didn't oversaturate the extreme aspect of what they do, because on every damn pay-per-view, you got a table break and you got chairs being used, this, that, the other. It's all old hat. It's all been seen, and they have to rejuvenate. They have to recreate that product somehow because it's stale gets, I guess. Stale as a stale does.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, excuse me, but it is a bit of I guess this is how WWE is just rolled, with these gimmick pay per views, like we have said, Hell in the Cell, and now this Extreme Rules. It's, I saw a few people posting that they should have renamed this show to be Normal Rules, since, yeah, the Extreme Rules match was at the very end, but then again, was it all that extreme? But at the same time, where WWE is having this kind of what would you say, PG kind of era or whatnot, and they're kind of well, there's going to be no blood, we know that, and a lot of the actual stunts and things like that are going to be dulled down a little bit, but I don't know. We're going to watch along with that main match, the main event, and see, just kind of break it down how we've seen it. And to be honest with you, I thought it was a pretty good wrestling match up until the garbage that happened at the end. It was garbage for me anyway.
That was pretty garbage all around, because the thing is, like, in the middle of a match. Okay, first of all, this is not new that music starts to play in the middle of a match and then something starts to happen. There was a black wrestler back in the 70s and 80s named Rufus R. Jones. Have you ever heard about him?
The name rings a bell, but I can't say.
I think it was Rufus R. Jones. In the middle of his match, he'd have some funky kind of like jiving music start to play, and all of a sudden he'd start coming back to life. So, like, this has been done before. It's not like all of a sudden, WWE came up with a new theatrical, cinematic kind of approach. Um, but that said, I got to be honest with you. It is camp, and it is not good. So I thought that Baylor as the Demon, when he came out, it just didn't feel like the old Demon that crawled and slithered to the ring. It was more like a watered down Demon this time. And they said the Demon's never been beat, but that's not true.
Yeah, was it Samoa Joe who beat him?
Samoa Joe beat him, yeah, in NXT before he moved up to the main roster. And that said, yeah, well, you can rewrite history, but I guess either they're not considering NXT to be WWE property, or then they disregard the fact that NXT has a history too. I don't know.
Well,
Weird.
they've already done it with Charlotte Flair and her title wins. That they didn't count that on her actual world title collection. There, they only counted the actual main roster titles held. So there was a lot of people who were a little bit upset about that idea. But I mean, either way, it's this was in a lot of ways a modern WWE main event because they are trying to do this cinematic style in front of a live crowd now, and I'm just not sure if it's a smart thing where they have done it with the doll situation, with Alexa Bliss, and that I don't think that worked at all. And with that Alka-Seltzer thing in her mouth, did you see that spot?
Oh, that was wonderful.
Yeah, jeez. And they zoomed in and I guess they didn't mean to show it, but I don't know. It's one of those things where I would expect that if you're going to do that kind of a spot, you'd understand that you would need something in your mouth, some water or something. And after you've done an actual match, it's you're probably dry in the mouth, so those things don't work. So odd for me that people didn't think about it actually.
Well, hey, it is what it is. You got to get by with what you got. So, but yeah, Extreme Rules, strange kind of pay-per-view this time around because of the fact that every other Extreme Rules pay-per-view up to this 2021 edition has been chock full with pretty much foreign objects and outside the ring action, on the floor, in the dressing room, this, that, the other, up the hoo-ha. Now for this, for this one, they kind of like saved it just for one match, and I think it's a good thing in a way. But then again, why call the Extreme Rules pay-per-view Extreme Rules? Because it's just one match.
Yeah.
Kind of don't make no sense. But and I think everybody knew that Finn Balor, the Demon, was not winning the title anyway because they've already advertised Brock Lesnar against Roman Reigns in Saudi Arabia. So it's kind of a dead giveaway that title ain't changed. It's not changing hands.
Yeah, and I think by now everybody kind of knows what happened at the end there. But have you seen the fan footage of actually how the rope broke?
No, I haven't. What was that all about?
There was a cameraman or a guy holding a camera anyway up on the apron on the other side of the ring, outside of the main camera's view, with a knife, and he cut the rope. Very clearly in the fan video, zoomed in on the guy standing there, cut the rope right at the moment, and then hopped down from the apron and pretended to keep filming. So again, you're trying to do this cinematic stuff in front of a live crowd, and you're just, you're definitely not caring about the live crowd. You're caring about the TV feed, the pay-per-view feed that, so the magic happens at home, but it basically bursts the magic bubble at the actual live event. So, yeah, I mean, it was a little bit, it's hilarious in a lot of ways, but it's also one of those things where at least for me, I just kind of like slap my palm against my head and think like, why did you even bother to do it? Especially at this kind of level, that you're WWE and you're the biggest money-making wrestling company in the world, and you got, it seems like they just don't care about the live audience in a lot of ways.
Well, they don't care about pro wrestling.
That's true.
Because it's not pro wrestling. It's sports entertainment. They've made that very abundantly clear. So that is, well, that was the main event. Let's go through the card anyway. So we'll do the rundown for Extreme Rules 2021. And we had Liv Morgan defeating Carmella by pinfall on the undercard, which I got to tell you, I haven't seen this match, but I saw some clips of. Was this the one where Carmella put the Phantom of the Opera mask on her face?
Possibly, yeah.
Or was it Raw now?
I can't. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Or was it SmackDown or whatever? No, Raw's tonight because we're filming or we're taping this on a Monday. Yeah, so it wouldn't have been Raw. It would have been probably SmackDown. But yeah, they had the draft too, by the way.
Yeah, that's right.
But anyway, we'll get. Maybe we get into that. Maybe we don't because it's inconsequential nowadays. The draft, it doesn't mean a damn thing.
No.
So, well, let's get into the pay-per-view.
Yeah. All right. Well, they got the New Day defeating Bobby Lashley and AJ Styles and Omos. So it was
almost.
And what did you think of that 6-man tag match?
I kind of was watching it through the corner of my eye. I thought that it was pretty decent for what it was. It's just a hot start to a pay-per-view, so they a lot of action. This, that, the other. Omos still doesn't convince me.
No,
he's not ready for that top spot. He's not ready for the main roster. But Big E, now you're WWE champion, so he's tagging with the New Day once again. A bit anticlimactic in that way, I guess, for Big E as the champion to be placed into a 6-man on a pay-per-view since he just won the title.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of confused there, but not really sure what this match did for the people involved.
I guess it just get him on the show.
Yeah, just get him on the show.
That's how really it seemed to me. Just they needed Big E to be on the show because he's the champion. Yeah, and I mean, of course, AJ Styles, Bobby Lashley. I guess they're trying to get that Bobby Lashley against Big E kind of building up with this 6-man. But to me, this is not the WWE style. Is at least from what I can remember, this is not the way WWE builds matches. So it's kind of interesting in that way that you put these 6-mans together that are trying to pin the a tag team, which is AJ Styles and Omos, with the New Day, Kofi Kingston, Xavier Woods, and then you got your the champion versus champion feud in a way, the Big E versus Bobby Lashley. But to me, this is like very almost New Japan-esque way of trying to build stuff, because whomever wins in this match, it kind of doesn't matter. But then it, I guess it in the end of the day, they're just trying to get these guys on the card and trying to get people to see as many of their stars as possible, but it's always the same stars, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, they got an X amount of, how could you say, like guys with a lot of TV time, so that they've invested, their time in these guys. New Day is one of those groups, and I think that they've kind of run themselves into a corner where you kind of have to use them, whether or not you want to, because of the fact that you've given them so much of that TV time. But this wasn't a bad match. It had its moments, and I don't have any recollection of this match after watching it. It's so weird,
Yeah.
We all watch so much wrestling nowadays that we have maybe an oversaturated mind when it comes to the overall product. That's why, like, only the really good shit, or shiznit, whatever you want, really stands out anymore. Because the thing is that you'll only really pay attention, or you'll like process the stuff that manages to stand out. Otherwise, it's just run by numbers, right? Paid by numbers.
Yeah.
And this was more or less one of them paid by numbers kinds of things where there's nothing inherently wrong with it. It's just nothing stands out because you can't remember fuck all.
Yeah. Yeah, and then we get another tag team match here, a straight tag team, Usos defeating the Street Profits. This is one of those things where how many times have we seen this match? to be honest with you, I don't know why it's like deja vu. It's they don't have any tag teams anymore, so it's just the Usos are great, a great tag team. I think the Street Profits are really good as well. I'm sure they work together great, but it's how could you possibly have anything new to show us now at this moment in time, because this match is just over and over and over and over. I don't know how do you feel about it.
Well, the thing is that I don't watch Raw, nor do I watch SmackDown. Um, I don't think I could actually put up with it, to be honest
Yeah.
with you. It's. I think the product has gone so far south. Even NXT, they've killed NXT now. Um, we can talk about that just in a bit, but the Usos. The one thing that I have to say about these Usos matches is the fact that if you want fluidity, like if you want flow and fluidity, that's what you're going to get from these guys. They work like a well honed, well oiled machine, and like if you think of like the top level of professional wrestling, where it's not like stop and go, but it's like a ever flowing, current. Um, that's what the Usos bring to the table, and that's saying a lot because that comes across whether or not this match has been seen. But if you analyze what you're watching a very fluid presentation.
Yeah.
And if you appreciate it just for what it is, it's these guys don't really do much wrong, like they're pretty much hitting all the notes. I'm not saying like an Usos fan. I never kind of really found that kind of, they just never resonated with me on that level. But I thought this was pretty decent for what it was, as a match.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty decent. Um, I thought that the finish was hot. I thought they really had the people going at the end, and like the near falls really felt like I thought the Street Profits might have even like had a chance of winning this thing.
Right.
So in that way, it wasn't lost in translation. And I thought like I remember more of the Usos against the Street Profits than I do of the New Day against Bobby Lashley, AJ Styles, and Omos. So like that's already saying something.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, then we get to the next deal. Charlotte Flair defeats Alexa Bliss by pinfall, and this was, I think, a disaster.
Painful. This was painful to watch.
Super disaster, in my opinion. Yeah, and at least from what I understand, Alexa Bliss is now off TV. I believe she's having some kind of surgery done. Who knows what it is? Uh, that I heard somebody call it an afterbirth. After the match, the just crying on the entrance ramp and pretending to foam at the mouth but can't really get it going, and just why would you frickin' bother with that? But because Charlotte Flair, she's one of the best, and Alexa Bliss can wrestle, but to me this whole angle, this whole idea, it's again this trying to do some kind of cinematic garbage live in front of people's faces, and it just sucks.
The thing is that you got to blame the writers.
Yeah.
You really do, because back in the day we had what we call bookers in the business, match bookers, guys like Dusty Rhodes and Pat Patterson, people like that. But nowadays you have these B team, C team Hollywood writers that they hire. Some of them who've got no clue about professional wrestling. They obviously have no iota of what our business entails. And it's obvious in the shit that they give these people to do and to say. And when they come up with the cinematic garbage, it's apparent there too, because it's not connecting. And for whatever reason, it's like a lot of the WWE product comes across as really lifeless. It's not exciting. Like I don't understand how they can, that we just came out of a pandemic or we're still coming out of it kind of thing. But they, like, the crowd was really hot for SummerSlam. People were really waiting that this is going to be like the biggest show of the year, SummerSlam, and it probably is going to be, because people were hot for having live wrestling back on that level. But that fizzled and died out pretty damn quick. That like newness factor, that honeymoon phase.
Mm.
AEW is still riding it because I think that they have more urgency and more must-see shock TV value to the way that it's kind of like a car crash and burn kind of scenario that they're booking. But with all that said, it's more interesting still. There's more of kind of the suspense of like what's going to be on this week
Yeah.
than there is in WWE. With WWE, it's kind of like everything's just, it feels bland.
Mm.
And Charlotte Flair is as good as everybody believes she is. It's like you're only as good as the person that you're in the ring with. You're only as good as the material that you got to work with. And it's not good material.
Mm.
It's just not good material. And it's not the fault of the talent, to be honest with you. I mean, Alexa Bliss is a better wrestler than what her current television character, makes her out to be.
Mm.
So it's the fault of the writing team. And in the end, it's actually Vince's fault because Vince is the one that gives his stamp of approval to this stuff. He's the one that lets it fly. And it's his product at the end of the day. But I just can't be bothered anymore. It's like I'm at the point where like I just don't feel anything for these wrestlers.
Mm.
You know?
Yeah.
I hate to say there's very few wrestlers that I really feel something for. That they don't come across as clowns, they don't come across as buffoons, they don't come across as overly animated, like disingenuous presenters, performers.
Mm.
And Charlotte is in dire need of a program that is going to reestablish her as like a force to be reckoned with, because even that last feud that she had with what's her name, Rhea Ripley, like Rhea, she has lost major steam since coming to the main roster.
Yeah.
Is whatever she had in NXT, that is gone. It's just she doesn't have that anymore. And she's not connecting with the people for whatever reason. I just don't feel like she's really connecting at all. And it's like they have a way of doing things in WWE where somehow these writers, they just drop the ball with all the talents that they're given. They don't know what to do with these people. And they're writing terrible material for them. And it comes across on pay-per-view then in these matches as the match is feeling flat and deflated because the material is so bad.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you feel about it, but that's just my own analysis.
Yeah, I mean, I can't stand it. This match, it wasn't a match, not at any caliber level. And I think Charlotte Flair, I get some kind of sense from her that she is frustrated there, as if she's not too happy with how she's being treated. Yeah, she's the champion, but I guess she just had to go through this match. That's part of what's going on there. This whole Alexa Bliss business. But the crowd didn't like this one. I'll tell you that. At least how I saw it. But it definitely got a lot of heat from people watching and reviewing this pay-per-view, saying that a lot of people are happy in a way that now Alexa Bliss, this character, is off TV for now, and hopefully she can come back and they can play more to her strengths. So anyway, we got this then a triple threat: Damian Priest, Jeff Hardy, Sheamus. Technically, triple threats are supposed to have no disqualification, so technically this could also have been an Extreme Rules match. But how there was so many chants in this evening of the pay-per-view at this Extreme Rules, that chants were "We want tables" constantly all night long. We want tables. And I heard even Bubba Ray or Bully Ray talking about how he liked the idea that Roman Reigns, even though people were chanting for tables, 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 he wasn't going to give it to them. So
That's what a heel does.
yeah, and I get that. But then again, what are we calling this pay-per-view Extreme Rules for? If we're not going to give the people what they want. But I totally get it. If this night was called, whatever it would be, I don't know, like big pay-per-view night. There you go.
Super Slam.
Yeah, Super Slam, and sponsored by Snickers. And there's so many WCW pay-per-view names. This could have been called Sold Out or whatever, and then you have your Extreme Rules match in the main event, and you got Roman Reigns not giving the people what they want, which is great. It's just the pay-per-view's name that really makes this all suck. But anyway, I think Sheamus is great. Damian Priest, I'm not a big fan of his, but whatever. And Jeff Hardy, again, he's maybe past his prime and he's doing his thing as best as he can do it. So, got to respect that. But
He can still move.
he can, yeah.
Like, for all the crazy shit he's done, and for like putting his body out there, I tell you what, you got to hand it to Jeff Hardy because he's in better shape to be able to still do like all the sentons and all the stuff that he does, the flying stuff. If you compare him like even to his brother Matt.
Yeah, Matt is super stiff in terms of body movement.
Yeah, Matt is stiff, but Jeff ain't. Jeff is still pretty fluid.
Mm.
So I don't know what, like, is that hereditary or is that something else? But like, whew, that is a question unto itself.
Maybe his body is a little bit more relaxed, when you get the alcoholic in a car accident, usually they're come out of it fine. Not saying anything bad about Jeff Hardy, but we've known he does some substance abusing in his life, and maybe he's able to do some of these things because he doesn't feel them, or his body's just super duper loose. I don't know, but yeah. In the end of the day, I mean, I just I didn't really care about this match too much. So a lot of this pay-per-view I just kind of glazed through because it wasn't delivering what I was wanting to see, I guess. So I mean, Damian Priest, like I said, I still haven't bought into him yet. Sheamus I really like, and Jeff Hardy, I think he's great. But
don't you feel like Hardy, he came back at that one WrestleMania. The Hardy Boys came back a few years ago. They were gone for a while. They came back. So, but Sheamus has been there pretty much since 2009,
something like that. Yeah,
9ish. Yeah, I think it was. So he's been there for 12 years. And it's like I feel like with Sheamus, I've seen so much of Sheamus that I could already not see him so much, kind of thing. You know what I mean? I had the same feeling with Randy Orton a while, like a few years ago, where there's so much Randy Orton to be seen, and I've seen him so much over the past 20 years now, that I don't need to see him. I just don't need to, right?
Yeah.
And then you find a way to recreate yourself. Like I think Orton's done pretty well, or they booked him in better. I think Vince takes more care of guys like Randy Orton than he does of certain other guys. I think he's an affinity towards Randy. Like, for example, when things turn to shit, and let's say his main event picture kind of like is not quite where he'd want it to be, he always gravitates back to Randy Orton. Have you noticed?
Yeah.
Always puts him back in the main events, puts him back in the title picture, because he's the one guy that Vince knows that it's worked in the past, and he goes to what has worked in the past. It's pretty obvious. But that said, guys like Kofi Kingston even been there for longer than what Sheamus has been there. And it's like the real challenge with guys that have been around so long is like the recreation, because like with the modern wrestling product, there's so much like subsidiary programming on their own network, the ride-alongs and all this story time and all these like different formats that they have, in addition to the 205 Lives and the NXTs. that your face kind of gets worn out. They have all these specials like 365 and whatever else, like the profile specials on these people, and it just comes across as uh, it's too much. You might like vanilla ice cream, but if you have it every single damn day, you have it twice a day, you kind of get sick of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing as, too much of a good thing is it makes it mundane. It's like, even like sex. You could have sex every damn single day, but I can pretty much guarantee you, if you have sex every damn single day, you're gonna also get sick of having that sex.
Mm.
You're gonna want to like take a break so that you like make a comeback. Like, let's be serious, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's why you need some breathing room. You need some space. And guys like, well, even Jeff Hardy to some degree, but I think he's been off TV more. He's been more random, when they brought him back. But Sheamus has been there all the time. So it's kind of like, it's a real challenge. That's all I have to say about this match. I don't remember hardly a damn thing after watching this either from this match either. I hate to say it, but I didn't retain much. All I can say is, the thing is, like with Sheamus, they keep on putting him there, and he's a good hand. It's like he's proven his worth over the years, but he's old hat. He's old hat.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, there's glimmers of his style being that really snug, hard hitting stuff,
and I appreciate that part of it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
It's just that Sheamus as a character,
Mm-hmm.
as a TV persona, he's been oversaturated to death.
Mm-hmm. No, I totally agree with you. Then going on here to the women's SmackDown Women's Championship match, Becky Lynch versus Bianca Belair ends in a no contest after outside interference. Now, a lot of people have been pretty down on this Becky Lynch heel business, where they're saying that it's very, very difficult to dislike her as a heel because of where she came from, her whole persona. Then now she's a mother coming back into wrestling, and they just have a real hard time to hate her that you would want out of a heel. So, I mean, in the end of the day, I think she's a really great wrestler. I think Bianca Belair is really great as well. They gave this match a decent amount of time as well. So, but in the end of the day, I'm not sure what I really recall, and I never like this outside interference kind of no contest thing when it's this kind of big of a match. But I guess they're wanting to save and keep this match going until one of the bigger shows.
Yeah, and they brought back Sasha Banks, so
that's it.
That was the interference here, right? So, yeah, and the thing is, I think that Bianca, they kind of gave up on her a bit quick, and I think it was a bit of a knee-jerk reaction, when they brought back Becky, because I think them bringing back Becky at SummerSlam, I think that was a retort to AEW. I think they had to do something because, they just broke the news about CM Punk, and everybody, the internet was sniffing that Daniel Bryan's on the horizon, or Bryan Danielson, that he's going to be coming there too. So I think that they felt compelled that they had to do something. They just couldn't let it be. And they pulled out kind of like all the big guns that they had to offer. And that's why they did what they did with Bianca losing the title to Becky at SummerSlam, in that like terrible scenario that they played out. But I think there's more meat on the bone to be had with Bianca Belair and Becky Lynch and also Sasha Banks. I think there's probably going to be a three-way coming up, in the next pay-per-view.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. We are joined by a squeaky chair that goes by the name of Heidi Katrina, back here in good old Finlandia. How are you doing there, squeakers?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Sorry about my my squeaky chair needs oil.
Yeah, it needs some grease.
Well, do you know what? It could be the chair, or it could just be my bones creaking.
Yeah, could be the bones.
Are you saying that you're getting old?
No, I'm just saying I'm getting creaky. Mike.
You're getting creaky or cranky?
No, definitely creaky.
Creaky.
Yeah,
Cre-
just all creak, no crank.
All right.
The full-on creakity crank. What are we talking about here?
Yes.
Well,
Talking about Extreme Rules, and we're gonna start it up. The Extreme Rules match, the only one of the night, which is the main event. We're gonna watch it here.
so this is a watch along, folks. We're gonna do a watch along for one match.
Woo.
So we are starting at 2 hours, 16 minutes, and 6 seconds. It's during Roman Reigns' entrance. If you guys want to cue yourselves up, but have you seen any of this pay-per-view yet?
I haven't, so I'm actually quite looking forward to it.
All right. Well, we're gonna break this down and probably rip it to shreds. What do you think?
Well, I'll tell you what.
No.
There are things with the modern product which is just like, as we said, it's not pro wrestling anymore in WWE. It is sports entertainment now. Um, you know, I guess that we could always go the politically correct route and like just not call a spade a spade. But I think that it's like there's nothing to be won in that. Like you can't sugarcoat something which is obviously either super contrived or it's so obvious that you've got to, like the old saying, if it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, and acts like a duck, well, damn, son, it must be a duck. So we're going to call this one down the middle.
There you go. 2 hours, 16 minutes, and 6 seconds. We're going to start. There's Facebook and Instagram and all this stuff that's owned by that. It was all down. So you'll probably be listening to this on a recording rather than live as we're doing it. But it's 2 hours, 16 minutes, 6 seconds on the WWE Network, Peacock Network, whatever. And it's the Extreme Rules pay-per-view. And
We do a countdown.
I guess, yeah, sure.
Okay, so I'm going to count you down to 3, 2, 1, and press play now. When I say now, only at that point do you actually press the play button. As Dylan just said, so you're at 2 hours, 47 minutes, and 9 seconds. Are you ready? Are you ready? Then, for the thousands listening on pay-per-view, and for the millions in attendance at home, 3, 2, 1, press play now.
All right. I'm
Boom.
going to get the sound
Let's get into it.
cranking in here.
All right,
Let's
the
get
head of
into
the
it.
table. What do they call these
Wow.
graphics, by the way, these
That's-
days? This is
I'm kind of
That's cool.
see if I can get the sound actually to come out.
there's a word for this graphic thing that they do nowadays. Actually, it's even with Slam Wrestling. My director Tuka, he said that they have the technology to do that even for Slam if we wanted that same kind of like graphic gimmick.
Kind of looks HD, huh?
Yeah, it's a bit.
Super HD.
Yeah, it's almost like a hologram picture in a way. Kind of, it looks like a hologram of the Roman Reigns persona or character. Anyway, here he comes. Roman Reigns with his counsel, Paul Heyman, one of the best, if I would say the best in the business manager. That they don't use that word anymore, like manager, barely at all. But that's what he is. He's a manager, but he does the small things so well: the facial expressions, the body language, the reactions. When he speaks, his voice, the conviction, everything. Paul Heyman is the top of the food chain. He is the prototype by which other managers are measured in our business. Period.
Can you guys hear it a little bit?
Can't hear a damn thing, Dylan.
Yeah, well, you don't have any headphones on, so I'm
No.
trying to help you out here. But
All right. Well, here they come. Roman's got this new music that they redid his music there a few months ago, and I think this new music is obviously more Game of Thrones-ish. Not that I've ever watched Game of Thrones, but that's what I hear.
I guess, yeah.
And is it just me or does he look like Jason Momoa?
Totally does, yeah. I think it's almost part of his, appeal or whatnot that he's got this. Well, he does. He has a really great look. That nobody's ever said he didn't look awesome. You could tell that he's this kind of guy that just has this really cool look. But I think, back in when he was a baby face and they were trying to really push him hard and the crowd wasn't buying it, you know, I don't think it was at any fault of himself. I think it was all about the writing and how they kind of, showed him and gave him that baby face. Well, he just didn't do enough, I guess. And everybody wanted Brock Lesnar to win because Brock Lesnar's legit. So, what do you think about Brock Lesnar or Roman Reigns?
I think they're both pretty legit. I think Brock Lesnar is a machine, and I quite enjoy him just being an absolute beast. And Roman Reigns, I mean, it's definitely not hard on the eyes, is he, Dylan?
No, not even on my
He
eyes.
looks fantastic, really. Like a sculpture, if
Mhm.
you will.
Heidi, is Roman dreamy in your opinion?
I personally would not choose those words, but yeah, I guess you could say he's dreamy.
Now, they're here in Columbus, Ohio, for this Extreme Rules pay-per-view. And let's see, I believe there's just over 13,000 people in attendance, the nationwide arena. And this coming off Dynamite doing that 20,000
20,000, yeah.
seater show.
Mm-hmm.
So, this show looks good, that's for sure. But what do you think about that as well? That WWE pay-per-view drawing. I mean, of course, you can't fit any more people in this building, but it's pretty impressive, I think. And I don't know, can AEW kind of keep that going?
I don't know, because I've seen some of the crowd shots, like photos from the crowd from these Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown tapings, and that hard cam side of the arena has got literally nobody sitting there.
Yeah.
It's like all the people have been set to sit on that one side that's like the main camera.
This is cool.
So
yeah,
here
they
we
get
go.
this.
I like this a lot.
Yeah, these entrances like that.
I like the way that Roman held himself throughout that whole entrance.
Mm.
I mean, not only physically does he look quite striking, but the way had his composure, the way he was holding himself was really, really cool as well.
Yeah, definitely.
I like this kind of atmospheric vibe going.
Well, there's an old saying in our business that your match starts from the moment that you step out of the curtain. It doesn't start when the bell rings. So
awesome. Yeah, this should be really good. This could be a really good match. I bet they've got great chemistry.
Well, let's see. We're going to find out.
Yeah.
So the Demon, Finn Balor. By the way, on commentary, they just kept on referring to him as just Demon, not Finn Balor, like, at all. So, nonetheless.
Well, they just mentioned that he has never lost in WWE, which we already said is untrue. But I guess NXT is not WWE anymore or something like that. So, but here he comes. I mean, you can't say that WWE doesn't produce their shows quite with quite an amazing production value here. I might even, for me, it might be overproduced, and these entrances are maybe especially this one here anyway. I think they're a little bit too nutty, but then again, it is sports entertainment, so that's what these people came here to see.
By the way, did you hear that when Balor got signed to NXT originally, that he did this interview? I forget with who, but he went publicly to mention that the one thing that Triple H worked on him the most when he went there was his entrance. And because in Japan, he said, like in New Japan, all he had to do was just walk to the ring. That's literally all they do there.
Yeah.
So they don't do extravagant entrances to really any degree where it looks like there's pomp and circumstance and panache and all the hoo-ha, bells and whistles. But here in WWE, like, your entrance is very much a part of your ring persona, your character, you getting over. Just like Heidi was saying about Roman's entrance, the same can be said for like Baylor's entrance. So
Mm.
WWE, if you think of like bell to bell, how much action goes on bell to bell, like the actual match time, versus how much time goes into the ring entrance
Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
and the post match, it's pretty damn considerable.
it is. Yeah.
Mm.
Well, let's see. I mean,
Oh, here we go. So I bet you they're selling Roman's gloves at the merch counter, right?
I
He's
think
got,
they are. Yeah,
yeah, he's so like they got to come up. So they got
they were
Alexa
selling
Bliss's
that
ball,
doll.
yeah, the
Yeah,
dolls,
yeah,
and now they're selling his gloves. So now he's had a black glove till now, or a gray glove. Now he's got a red glove.
yeah. No glove, no love, right?
I gotta say, he's looking particularly sculpted today.
Mm.
Dreamy, if you will.
He's dreamy. Are you getting butterflies?
He's dreamy, all right.
Are you getting butterflies?
Not so much butterflies.
No fluttering.
No fluttering.
Okay.
Credit where
Yeah, yeah. Well, he's worked on himself, that's for sure.
Cat got your tongue there, Heidi.
Just need to find myself. Just kidding.
Oh, come on now.
Just kidding.
It's getting hot around here. All right, here we go. Kicking away then. Collar elbow lock up in the corner.
Ooh.
And popping away here. Kicks, leg lace kicks. And Baylor coming back, firing back against Roman Reigns. Trading shots.
Yes.
The announcers, I don't know, like these
Hmm.
WWE announcers, I'm listening to it at least, and the one guy just pointed out, the demon has a black tongue. Like, all right.
How about that?
Ooh,
Yeah.
I like this.
So now he's ripping away at Roman's face. Now he's ripping away at his back. It's a different kind of presentation.
Mm.
I like it. It's different.
Oh, look at these lazy kicks though to the thigh there. Just Roman paid him back for that one.
Well, they got enough of the camera cuts going on, that any daylight gets hidden away pretty easily.
Yeah, but they didn't hide that one. I just saw that.
Yeah.
That's why I called it. All right, here we go. Samoan drop. Not even a 2 count. So that's a 1 and a go. No go. So we got, the one thing that I got to mention about Baylor's makeup here is like the body paint. They must have used some crazy body paint that like sticks like an adhesive
Mm.
because it just didn't wear off his body hardly at all during this match.
Yeah, yeah. Do you remember like the paint that Sting used to use that like flaked off? It didn't like
Yeah.
rub off
Yeah,
on
yeah,
anybody.
yeah.
But this stuff seems to be sticking pretty damn good.
Yeah, that's definitely got like a vinyl coat to it, something like that. Probably in the texture of the paint, for sure.
Roman here's got the kendo stick, of course, the classic kendo stick. But now Finn Balor has disappeared, and of course, he's got 4 kendo sticks taped together because that's way worse.
Well, let's see what happens here. So we got the bunched up kendo sticks against the single kendo stick, and it is what it is.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the crowd's popping for it, so there you go. Oh no! Did you see there on the NXT 2.0 they had that Braun Breaker say shit a few times?
Yeah.
And then so with this kind of developmental system that they got now with the NXT, and was it Seth Rollins was like, oh, so we can say shit now, can we?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, but of course, probably on the main roster they're not saying that stuff. But then why would you say it then on the NXT other than to try to compete with AEW's like
well, they can't
language stuff?
Yeah, but they can't compete with the product anymore.
Yeah,
that's the whole thing. The vibe has changed completely in NXT.
Trying to be edgy but bubblegum at the same time. Whoa! All right.
Okay, here we go. So trapping Roman in the curtain, or in the apron, I mean. And here's Baylor kicking away.
About 45 camera cuts during that stomp session there.
Well.
Oh, there you go. That was pretty good.
There we go. Penalty kick.
Slightly off topic, but I really like the colour scheme of the logo. for the Extreme Rules.
Mm.
Different.
Purple and green, you
Yeah,
like
it kind of
them?
has like the old school vibe going.
Yeah.
You know, I quite like it. It's refreshing.
Looks like an energy drink.
Yeah, I like it.
Listen,
It's exciting.
I'm listening to the pop that the crowd
Ooh.
just gave when that table started
Hell
coming
yeah.
out. They're
Well,
wanting these tables so badly.
Yeah, give them the tables.
Devon, get the tables.
Mm.
Mhm.
Oh, and Roman Reigns put it back, and he's getting heat. There you go. That's good stuff.
Yeah, that's the small things. Once again, it's not the big things you do. It's not the big moves. It's not about the moves. It's about the psychology and about the emotion that you can elicit. If people don't care about you, it doesn't matter what you can cut your head off and hang yourself upside down. It's like you're just not going to get no response. But if they care about you, it's the smallest things you do. It's the little body language things you do, and people just react to that. Much like Paul Heyman.
Yep.
For sure.
The crowd was chanting tables and all that jazz. So Roman Reigns is like Bob Ross with a steel chair. You know, the painter guy.
Oh,
was-
Bob Ross.
What kind
How
of
about
I
that?
thought
What
about
kind
Bob
of a
Ross.
comment was that?
That's kind of off color.
Yeah, well, just a bit weird from Pat McAfee. Oh,
What do you think of Pat McAfee as an announcer, by the way?
I like his voice. I just don't think he's got anything good to say, to be honest with you.
Do you think that his enthusiasm is heartfelt, or do you think it's manufactured?
Pretty guaranteed it's manufactured, but you know, I'm not sure. Nobody seems to like Michael Cole, by the way. I feel bad for the guy because, you know, but then he's not losing his job any day soon.
I think he's there pretty much for almost a lifer. You know,
Yeah,
at this
yeah.
point. He was the one that took Jim Ross's crown. You know, like they went with Cole as the next guy, and
Mhm.
now he's the head of the announcers. You know,
Do you think he's going to be one of those like legendary voices, or
no,
you know? Yeah, I don't
no,
think so.
but he's an office guy. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah. Here we go. Crowd is going nuts with his.
And the crowd goes mild.
Yeah,
I guess for this match they're pretty hot.
yeah.
But like once again, I don't think anybody believed that Baylor's going to win this title because they've already advertised Saudi Arabia like for October now, and it's going to be Roman against Brock Lesnar. So it's
There
like
you go.
that's a WrestleMania match. They're giving it away already.
You get what you pay for.
Yeah, that's it.
That's going to be a cool match.
Mm.
Then again, them Saudi Arabia events have been pretty damn bad up until now. So don't bet your life on it yet.
Yeah, and you got to think how many times have we seen Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar? Maybe not for a little while, but they seem to not be able to, you know, have enough of each other.
But it's not really that. You know what the thing is that like actually at WrestleMania 31 they had a damn good match.
Yeah,
I have to say. And the thing is that if Lesnar is going to go anywhere over 4 or 5 minutes, which most of his matches, like in the last few years, have not been anywhere over that amount of time, then maybe we have some hope. But if it's going to be another one of these things where it's just suplex after suplex after suplex, maybe a clothesline, and then the F5, it's like it's so predictable that you can already call it before it happens.
Yeah.
You know, it's like Goldberg. You know, you can already you know what's going to happen in a Goldberg match.
We got Roman Reigns and Balor brawling in the crowd.
Does Roman
And
have a mask
he
on?
does.
Yeah,
Paul
because
Heyman
he's
put the mask
recovering
on
from
him.
a health issue, that's why.
Yeah, I guess
Which is
he
completely understandable.
he's yeah, exactly. But then they're
Completely
playing it up that
understandable.
he's not going to breathe the same air as these, you know, low life fans in the crowd kind of thing. So
I like
sure.
that glass. What's going on here?
I don't know. They're on the glass table or probably plexiglass or
I like
whatever.
that.
Let's see what they do. Doubt we'll be going through glass, but let's see.
Oh,
Well, gonna rock bottom, but no.
that would have been cool.
What is that glass gimmick, by the way? Do you have any idea what
I
that
think
is?
Yeah, it's
part
the
of
kickoff table
it's
that
part of the arena.
yeah, they did like the pre-show,
Ah,
you know, stuff from there, I guess.
Oh,
All right, there you go.
That was cool.
Crossbody through the table. It's always that like inconspicuous table that's sitting over with a with some cables and a few empty cardboard boxes on it.
But I got,
Perfectly normal.
Yeah.
but I got to tell you, it takes me out of it when all of a sudden in the middle of a match, Roman Reigns puts on a mask. I'm sorry, but it takes me out of the element. It's just to put on a face mask. They didn't. There's no need to go outside, and
Just to do that spot.
just to do that, what they did right there.
Mm.
Did that add anything to this match? Yes or no?
Well, I don't think so. I mean, I get it that they wanted some brawl in the crowd, that kind of stuff, but I don't think they had to do it.
But as soon as he got back in the ring, the mask is off. You see?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, it just shows that the only reason they put the mask on was just so that they go out.
Yeah.
So it just makes it so contrived that it's hard to believe.
Yeah, yeah. Let's see. The crowd is loving the chance to see a table break. It is kind of a funny situation that why is it so cool? Oh, big Uranagi or rock bottom or whatever you call it through the table.
That really broke the table.
It really broke the table.
Yeah.
What was that table made out of, by the way?
Yeah, well, geez, particle board for sure, but
Hell yeah. Tables hardly ever break like that.
yeah, well, what was it? That bully got the wedgie of a century there, but
yeah, that was a lovely break.
yeah, you got to think that table was gimmicked as well, but it looked nice. But why is it so cool? Even for me, especially growing up, and when I was watching ECW or something, and these guys were smashing gazillion tables every night, and for some reason, it still was cool for a while. And I still think it's quite neat, but people go nuts for that kind of stuff, like, and it's just a breaking of a table. But
you don't like it?
I love it, but I think it's got to be used well.
I do like it.
It's just too much, though. It happens all the time. And when shit happens all the time, it becomes redundant, becomes mundane. I can do without it. I'd love to see two guys just get in there and wrestle. You know what I mean? Like give me Benoit and Finlay from Unforgiven 2006 over anything that they're doing today.
Well,
Superman Punch
missed it by a mile.
Yeah.
Some interesting slap to this Pele kick.
And now the Superman Punch laying out Baylor. Here we go. On top for the 1, the 2, and the oh no, not a 3. But
yeah.
That is some stubborn paint, boy.
Yeah, it is.
That paint ain't coming off. No way. That's like comic book paint.
Yeah. It's actually slightly like flaking in some spots, but you would think, that it should all be rubbed all over Roman. But they've got some decent paint here. We got to find out what it is. Some kind of latex-based stuff or something. The demon somehow finds a way.
I never understood what is that glove all about, by the way, that Roman wears. What's the purpose?
I guess trying to protect his fist from breaking on the face of his opponents. Every day, all day. He's the head of the table every day, all day, for some reason. Paul Heyman.
Just think of the Samoan legacy, by the way, in WWE for like all these years that since the 50s. Afa, Zeke, the Wild Samoans, or was it High Chief Peter Maivia back in the day and whatnot. It's like they have a long heritage. Yokozuna, Head Shrinkers, Rikishi, a long heritage of these of the Samoan dynasty. Oh, and he kicked out. And he got him right in the gonads. That's a good spot.
That's what happened. Yeah.
That's a good spot.
You could really miss that. That's a little bit of a subtle situation, but
That's why you got your announcers, Dylan.
Yeah, that's true. But people live were probably like, "What?"
Yeah, that's it. Well, he did
Wow.
put his hand up there.
He did.
He stuck it.
And they're really showing it on the big screen now to make sure people know what happened. That's for sure.
Well, he took one right. He took one for the team.
There you go.
Oh, drop kick out between the ropes.
Wow, that paint is really resilient, huh?
That is.
Oh,
Heidi, why can't women have makeup that's that resilient?
I bloody hope we can one day, Michael. 'Cause that would be epic.
They-
We have got a fixer there. We'll let you know. We've got a chicken makeup fixer these days,
Oh, do you?
and that's quite good. Yeah, it does the trick.
Well, here we go. Going on top for the 1, the 2.
Oh wait, what?
The
the
Usos.
Usos, yeah.
Damn.
They're coming out flailing away on Finn Balor here, taking him out at ringside. The thing is, like with outside interference, when you know that it's just like Gallows and Anderson AEW,
Mm.
when you know that for sure it's coming, you know what I mean? It's just like it's that yawn spot. It's like, oh, again.
Yeah.
It's like
Shenanigans.
it's not heat. It's not proper heat. It's like it's the wrong kind of heat, right?
Oh yeah, he threw those kendo sticks with authority.
Oh, there he goes. He threw him. That's right. Okay, let's put Balor through the table. And Balor says, no, he's fighting back now.
What was that?
That was like a flapjack on the ring barrier. And then there was a sling blade out to the other Uso on the floor.
We still got a championship match going on, everybody.
Well,
Oof.
Well, that was a rough spot.
Yeah.
They must take the pins out of them tables or something for them to collapse like that.
I've seen a few times where guys, oh, there you go, spear through the, that was nice.
Yeah, through the barricade, yeah.
Yeah. And now we're coming up to the infamous moment here.
Is it going to live in infamy, though? That's my question.
Well, I don't know, but the crowd is chanting the holy shit. I don't know if we got a little bit of interference, at least in my earphones, but
nonetheless, here we are, laid out at ringside. Everybody's now laid out at ringside. It's carnage.
oh,
It's breaking down, but now, look, the lights, and all of a sudden, look, Balor.
He's fish out of water.
He's fish out of water when the music hits.
Some
and
heartbeat.
All of a sudden, he's just going to come back to life.
Funny, there's guys like standing right behind him that are just staring up at the screen. They're not like watching what's happening right in front of their faces.
And now it's like music nonstop, and it's like the same lighting that they use for the Fiend, the red lighting, which just too theatrical for its own good. They can't help themselves, Dylan.
They can't.
And the drop kick through the table, that was nice.
Yeah, interesting way to do it.
Yeah.
The champ is down. He's going to do the coup de grace one more time. And here we go.
The coup de grace?
Yeah.
Is that the same thing?
Are you ready for some divine intervention?
Is this a Slayer album?
Yeah.
From way back in the day?
He's going to do it.
Oh, here we go. Look at that.
Smoke
rising
is there. And here he goes.
That ring is, that top rope's bouncing. Oh. And the rope gave way.
Trying to play it off like a shoot. How the hell does that even happen? That's what Pat McAfee says.
Does the internet know?
The internet knows. They know that some cameraman sabotaged Finn Balor here, but spear.
Oh, there we go. As Gorilla Monsoon would say, stick a fork in him, he's done.
Yep, he's done. And he might be done on the main roster for a little while after that.
I don't think so. He's probably going to go after the cameraman.
Well, there you go. There's the main event of Extreme Rules, and there was some good stuff in there, that's for sure. You know,
It had its moments.
both of these guys know what they're doing. They're total pros.
Yeah.
Can't help that, that ending business. We're here coming up like Roman Reigns is kind of thanking the Lord for breaking the ring ropes and helping him out, it seems.
Wait till he just finds out it was just the cameraman.
Yeah. Because I don't know. To me, that's a little bit, like, anyway. And then there's, imagine you had a boxing match, and the top rope or the ropes malfunctioned, and they most likely, I guess, yeah, this is Extreme Rules, so there's no rules here, but it is a bit of a weird. I get it that they're trying to protect this demon character, but and maybe it's just quite creative idea, but then again, I'm not sure if that was the way to go, but and the rope just broke. Look at the faces in the crowd. Did they seem like they give a shit?
Was it Paul? Maybe it was Paul Heyman. He just scuttled out from the corner.
Heidi, the internet knows.
The internet knows.
But do they know?
I'll show you guys the video.
Do they really know?
Do they know?
Nobody really knows.
Well, here we are. This has been Extreme Rules and Roman Reigns. A lot of postulating and a lot of body language. That's the Roman Reigns of today. Actually, they've gone a certain route with him where it's a very dramatic. It's very Game of Thrones-ish, to be honest with you.
It works for him, though.
It works for him. That's the
Totally
whole
works
thing.
for
Yeah,
him.
yeah. But the thing is, all of his matches are by and large very similar to one another. They're very slow burn in their composition. But nonetheless, that was the match.
I enjoyed that.
The match of the evening for the main event, as it were, of Extreme Rules. Otherwise, in the wrestling world, Dylan, what's happening on NXT 2.0? Have you been watching?
I haven't watched full episodes, but to be honest with you, they lost me. The last I saw a few clips from the last week's episode, and I heard a bunch of people talk about how they gave it some time. They wanted to give it a chance, and then on this third week, they're just not interested.
No, they're giving up.
Yeah, so people are, at least from the pro wrestling media, it seems as though they don't mind that it's that developmental thing, but they're just not into watching people learn how to wrestle on the USA Network.
Yeah, that's very true. They have so many green guys right now. As it reminds me of this podcast I was just listening to. It's just fantastic, by the way. It's a 2-part podcast with Stone Cold interviewing William Regal.
Oh, yeah.
And I really recommend that people check it out because he talks about when he was signed to WCW in 1992 and just he got signed at the end of the year by Bill Watts. And then his contract, of course, was, I forget for how many years, but the thing is that then Eric Bischoff took over and they were doing what they call the B team, the house shows they were doing, like the different towns and doing the tags with, it was actually Regal and Steve Austin tagging up against Ricky Steamboat and Shane Douglas. So, but the thing is that what I was going to say about that, just like when it comes to NXT now, it just reminded me, Regal is still like the general manager, if not, I think he still is, at least of NXT storyline, at least. He said that they weren't very excited about like what was happening in WCW at the time because they had sent home Bobby Eaton, they'd sent home Arn Anderson, they sent like different guys that were really good hands back home just to get them off TV for a while. and they had these Van Hammers and these Buff
Mm.
Bagwells, and they had guys like that filtering into the promotion, and just like guys that you couldn't really get much out of. You couldn't really work with these guys in the same way that you could work with somebody like who's on the level, so to speak.
Yeah.
And they were just so uninspired to work with these guys because it's like, what can you do, right?
Mm.
And now I'm thinking of NXT, and I'm looking at this at 2.0, and I'm thinking to myself, just tons of green guys, like literally not ready for TV.
Mm-hmm.
And like guys that they're introducing that the crowd just doesn't give a flying shit about. They don't, because they have no sea legs under them. They haven't been established on television.
Yeah.
So who are they? Why should you care? One, I have to say that I was really pleasantly surprised by. I forget his name now, but he just wrestled against. Is he like Australian or what is he? He just wrestled against Roderick Strong
Mm.
when Roddy won the cruiserweight championship, whatever it was, from
Yeah. Kushida.
Kushida, yeah. And he came out to challenge him after the match, and I thought like that was like a wet fart in church.
Mm.
Like, when he came out to challenge him, I was like, who is this guy? He like comes across as the most vanilla,
Yeah.
like tall, like nothing happening, like non-special entity out there. And I thought that this is going to be just complete drizzling shiz out once they get down to business next week.
Mm.
And I was so wrong.
Yeah.
And what was his name? Fuck, I can't remember. But anyway, they had a blowaway match on NXT.
Yeah.
And the guy put himself on the map. He literally put himself on the map, like really creative offense, super high energy, snap, intensity. And I'm just thinking he's just got a shitty name.
Yeah.
And he has a very bland look. He looks like nothing special.
Mm.
But man, this guy can work.
There you go. Yeah, I think that Ridge Holland as well. He looks the part, and he had a pretty good match with Kyle O'Reilly. But it's like you get those matches there that are like quite good with guys like Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly and Tommaso Ciampa and all that kind of Pete Dunne and whatever. But then you got these super short, unbelievably green matches going on,
like for 1 minute.
Yeah.
1-2 minutes.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's and I don't. I love watching independent wrestling. I it's great to see people like growing and learning, but for some reason it feels like they are too far away from being TV ready. I think it's a different thing when you go see an independent promotion live.
Mm.
It's a different ball of wax completely than when you see a television product like WWE that's all polished straight up, and then you get that kind of stuff that just doesn't convince you whatsoever.
Well, that said, NXT 2.0, I think that Ciampa is going to be dropping that title very soon to Braun Breaker. I think that
looks like it.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's a lot of shakeups happening there. But that said, anyway, let's move on. A few of the other things happen in the wrestling world.
Well, you can tell us about what's going on with Slam Wrestling coming up and why Heidi Katrina's here in the first place.
Well, she's here because she loves wrestling in Finland.
Yes, I do. It's my favourite place to wrestle.
Wow.
Outside of Japan.
Well, Japan is always Japan. And Japan's kind of like my home, really. So I don't really see it as that's my favourite place. That's kind of where I'm based. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, we have got something real special coming up this month.
Oh, we do indeed.
Yep, on the 16th and 17th of October. That's Saturday, Sunday in Lahti, Finland. That is, by the way, Heidi, I got to tell you, Finland is not considered to be like a really bad ghetto kind of town, like atmosphere. Like our country's pretty peaceful in general. Mm-hmm. But this city of Lahti, about 20 years ago plus, they had a really bad reputation as being the Chicago of Finland.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a lot of crime.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of crime. Yeah, a lot of gangs and a lot of different shit going down. But anyway, so that's where we're going to be at the Fitness Expo, the Nordic Fitness Expo of 2021 at the Lahti Fair and Convention Center. That's a huge place for Saturday and Sunday. And With that, we have got Heidi's. She's going to be wrestling on that card at that event. Also, we have Hungary's top female wrestler coming in. Heidi, she's going to be wrestling against you on that at that event. We're talking about Eva Kolaski.
Mm-hmm.
And then, in addition to that, we have Timo Noth, the Estonian Terminator, coming once again. This guy is really making a fast impression here in Slam. Man, what an animal that guy is! Just a machine. He's a beast.
Yeah. Ripping through everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he's just unstoppable.
Mm-hmm.
But we got some Finnish talents. For example, the longtime catch wrestling veteran Stark Adder is going to be there. TT Suosalo. You're a good friend there, eh, Dylan?
Yeah, I love the guy.
Yeah. And Victor Tukki is going to be there also. He actually is from the neighboring township of Halahti called Hollola.
Cool.
Yeah, so that he's kind of like local in that way. And myself also, I'll be there wrestling on the card at the Fitness Expo. So it's the Slam Wrestling Show on Saturday and Sunday at 12:30 and also at 2:30 p.m. both days. That's when the matches are going to be taking place there. But folks, I got great news for you, by the way. We're going to be raffling off 100 free tickets to the Fitness Expo.
Woo.
That's pretty wicked.
Yeah.
Right?
50 tickets per day, right? So 50 for Saturday, 50 for Sunday. Now, if you want to get in on this major coup, all you have to do is join the Slam Wrestling Finland mailing list. You do that by sending just send an email, actually. That's all you have to do, with the title NFE, as in Nordic Fitness Expo. So that's NFE 2021 Slam. That's the title of your email, right? That's what you place there.
Boom.
And you're eligible. The first folks that actually contact us, we will raffle off and give away 50 free tickets per day. There will be a Slam meeting point at the Fitness Expo near the front doors where you can come redeem those tickets because we'll inform you by email if you have contacted us in time to get your free tickets to that event. This is major. You don't want to miss this. I mean, not only do you get to see top of the line professional wrestling, international wrestlers, you get to see the actual Nordic Fitness Expo in all of its glory. Now that's a hell of a deal.
Mhm.
That's the biggest fitness expo in all the Nordics of Europe on an annual basis. So do your due diligence, get on your internet, go on your email, info@slamrest.com. That's info@slamwres.com. You send us a message and we will make sure that you are in the raffle for those 50 per day free tickets when you put the title of your email in the message field, the topic field. You put NFE 2021 Slam. NFE, that's Nordic Fitness Expo 2021 Slam. And hey, you just might be one of the lucky winners.
There you go. Well, there's not much going on. There was the draft, I guess, coming up, so we'll be covering that, I think, later in the week, and all that good stuff. Heidi, is there anything you want to say as you fall asleep back there, because we're getting close to 1 o'clock in the morning?
I just hope you can make it to our next show, because it's really just, honestly, I'm so excited about this Nordic Fitness Expo. It's just going to be mega, especially wrestling there as well. Like, I'm just so pumped.
Woo!
I'm hoping everybody can make it, and I'm hoping that we have the best time, because I'm really pumped to be back here in Helsinki. It's a beautiful place.
But are you pumped?
I'm massively pumped, yeah.
All right, well, that being said, I guess we'll see you guys on Thursday or somewhere around that anyway. And yeah, can't wait. There's lots of great wrestling coming down the pipe,
That's
especially from Slam Wrestling Finland. And yeah, big things in the works, baby.
Stay tuned.
There you go. For everybody here, this has been Shooting the Shizat. Thanks for listening.